welcome to another GCSE PE podcast. In this podcast we will be looking at the muscular system. Okay, the first thing we need to know is the major muscle groups in the body. Okay, so starting at the top at our shoulder, it is our deltoids. Okay, so then moving down to our chest, top of our chest is our pectorals. Okay, moving down to the front of our arm, so at the front of our arm, they are our biceps. And at the back of our arm, behind the biceps, are our triceps. Okay, so moving down the body, below our pectorals is our abdomens. Do not say six-pack or abs, it is our abdominals. Okay, now moving down to the top of our leg, at the top of our leg is our quadriceps. Okay, and behind our quadriceps, at the back of our leg, is the hamstrings. Now, above the hamstrings, our bottom, it's called our gluteals. Okay, above our gluteals, at our back, in between the rib cage and our spinal cord, is the latissimus dorsi on the side, and at the back of our neck, the triangle at the back of our neck, to the below our shoulder blades, is the trapezius. Okay, so the next thing we need to know is that muscles work in pairs. Now these are called antagonistic pairs, and every movement that is created in the body, two muscles work together to create that movement. Now the example you can see there is the extension of the arm. Now when we extend our arm, our tricep is acting as the agonist and our bicep is acting as the antagonist. Now the antagonist is the muscle that is relaxing, and the agonist or the prime mover is the one that is doing the work, so it is contracting. Now a few more things we need to know about antagonistic pairs is where the origin is and where the insertion is. Now the origin is at the top, so in this case it is the shoulder where the muscle is created and where it is no movement possible. Then the insertion is where the movement is happening. So for example, on the extension of the arm, the elbow is bringing the arm down and straight, so it is the insertion is at the elbow.
Movement at joints is affected by the action of muscles that are generally arranged in opposing pairs. As one muscle contracts and shortens, the other relaxes and becomes longer. For example, the biceps and triceps. The biceps and triceps control movement of the forearm. The biceps contract and act as the prime mover, while triceps, the antagonist, relaxes. When the elbow is straightened, the reverse occurs.
Okay, the next thing we need to know is that there are two different types of contraction in our muscles. There is an isotonic contraction and an isometric contraction. Okay, the easiest way to remember them is that an isotonic contraction is like Lucozade. Lucozade is supposed to give us energy so that we can move. This is what an isotonic contraction is. It is the creation of movement through one muscle contracting and the other muscle relaxing.
Stand by.
There's a fine line between winning and losing. Sometimes, just a few milliliters.
Okay, so isometric contractions are the opposite of isotonic contractions. Isotonic contractions are all about movement, whereas isometric contractions are all about the movement in a fixed position. Okay, so there is no movement created. So isometric contractions are not often used during sport as much as isotonic contractions. However, on occasions they are used. So for example, doing a wall sit, okay, there is no movement created, however your muscles are still contracting. In a rugby scrum, okay, you're pushing against somebody else, okay, there is no movement happening but your muscles are still contracting. Okay, so the last thing we need to know about muscles is the immediate effect of exercise on muscles and the long-term effect of exercise on muscles. Now, the immediate effects of exercise on our muscles are the things that happen to our muscles when we start exercising straight away. So when we start exercising, we know that it increases our heart rate. Okay. We also know that lactic acid starts to build up in the muscles if we're doing anaerobic exercise. We also know that the body needs more oxygen and more glucose. Okay, and finally, the last thing we need to know about muscles is the long-term effect that exercise has on our muscles. Okay, so if we exercise for a long period of time, continuously, okay, so we train for 6 or 7 weeks, the improvements that we will be seeing is that we will see a firmer, good-looking body, better posture, stronger tendons and ligaments, and the major difference is that hypertrophy will occur, which means that it will improve our muscular strength, our muscular endurance, and with this increased strength we're going to increase our power.